There is the Federal Reserve
Maybe we need to have a recession to heal the problems that the $1 trillion did not address. They put all that money in banks, Mark, and they didn't move the M's. Now they're all upset they didn't move the M's. You know, maybe if they would have done the tax cuts originally, maybe the deficits would have went up, but the money would have actually raised the M's. Isn't that what they were trying to do? And instead they bail out 6 institutions that aren't loaning to anybody.
As a nation, we have borrowed and spent our way into a gigantic ditch. We are not going to get out of the ditch by digging it deeper. We have to reverse the mistakes of the past, not repeat them. Government stimulus will never grow this economy. It will never create jobs. It is the equivalent of trying to put out a fire by pouring gasoline on it. We have to understand that the housing bubble, the financial crisis of 2008, 2 events that I predicted and warned about, were the consequences of government stimulus.
My name is Tim, but I could be your relative, your neighbor, or friend. Every day, millions of Americans wake up to an uncertain future. They go without food and clothing. They don't celebrate holidays or birthdays anymore. They're losing their jobs, businesses, homes, and their livelihood. Yet these stories go untold. I am one of those Americans with a story. For 7 years, I headed a company that supplied steel material for the construction industry. This yard had 30 to 45 truckloads of steel products per week rolling through its gates. This shop had workers cutting and bending that same product. Now this place is a ghost town. Just another casualty on Main Street. The bank that provided our line of credit decided it was in their best interest to pull funding even though we had never missed or been late on a payment. They told us it was nothing personal, it's just business. That bank received a $2.5 billion taxpayer bailout. This is my home. For the last 11 years, I've raised my children here. I was just informed that the same bank has the right to take my property now. I have never been behind on my mortgage payment, yet this bank has missed every payment due for its bailout since 2008. I don't see Washington seizing the assets of these bankers. Their houses and belongings are not at risk. Their actions might seem unethical to you and me, but it's perfectly legal under the law. You see, Washington and Wall Street do not adhere to the same rules we do. I realized Main Street needed a voice, someone to speak out on their behalf. While looking for a job in a slumping economy, I was invited to do a radio show to discuss the issues facing everyday people. The show is called Buy Back America Radio. It started as a weekend program and has grown to 6 days a week with listeners in all 50 states. Americans are listening to our message and waking up. They see what their town main streets look like, for lease or for sale. These are the same shoes I was wearing in 2009 when the banker delivered me the bad news. I wish our elected officials could walk just 1 mile in them. These are the same shoes I will wear as I travel Main Street America, bringing you the stories of the people living in tent cities, standing in the food lines, looking for jobs, and even struggling with the natural disasters that have destroyed lives and communities. We will show how they are overcoming it all to save the American dream. Now is the time to give Americans from coast to coast a voice and bridge the gap between a people divided. Our project, The Stories of Main Street America, is about my team and I traveling to communities across this nation, sharing our message and telling these great stories. The mission is to help unite Americans and inspire them to put focus on what really matters, restoring our country. We started by creating a special document called the Declaration of Restoration and holding events to promote it. Americans from all over showed up to hear the message and become involved. They felt good about what they heard and left with a spirit of patriotism and love for their country renewed. Americans are brave and strong. They know we have a special nation. They just need a reminder that it is all worth fighting for.